Angie Fuhrmann, and I'm going to just kind of do like a real quick and dirty session today on a bunch of different wild and scenic river resources that are out there, kind of like starting points. Always, I know it's going to be a short session, so I'm happy to follow up via email if you have any questions or if I just have, gone through something really quickly. We're also going to have this recorded and we'll be putting it out there, which I'll go through here in a second. So today, really, I'm going to be going through four main categories of resources. I'm going to first start off by talking a little bit about rivers.gov, which is the website from the Interagency Wild and Scenic Rivers Coordinating Council. This is a great starting point for a lot of wild and scenic river information, documents, white papers, things like that. We'll talk a little bit about RMS and our River Training Center and things that we've got available as far as resources, webinars, training. Go through a little bit of the NWSI recordings where you can find those from previous years and a couple of highlights, videos that I've found particularly useful and have gone back to. And then talk a little bit about agency and advocacy groups. As Risa mentioned, this session is only about like 17 more minutes. So I'm going to encourage you also, like if you have access to the chat, feel free to add any other resources that I'm not mentioning into that chat, and we can build these up and put them into the description of this video when it comes out so you can come find them again. So first off, whoops, we've got our Interagency Wild and Scenic Rivers Coordinating Council, and their website is rivers.gov. So I'm going to switch over to a tab here. I've got rivers.gov up here in my bar. And when you land on this website, this is their newly redesigned website. I hope many of you are already familiar with this. It's been redesigned for a few months now, and lots of great information here along the top. You can look at stuff related to rivers. There's a really great page on study rivers here, or those who are working through eligibility and suitability studies. You've got an overview of the national system and how rivers are designated. A lot of great information there as well. River resources. Here I like to highlight, things that we all are maybe aware of, like our technical papers or the white papers from the Interagency Council. Can go to that here in a minute. We've got some training. I just like to bump over to this page real quick. Not only does it talk about RMS's River Training Center, but we've got these Epley Institute trainings, which are at your own pace. Really can go in depth on different topics, 13 different modules. So I encourage you to check those out as well. Coming back here to our main page and the river resources, you also have GIS data, managing visitors, and then this really cool like Q&A section where if you go to that question and answers, you can search by different keywords here under the topics section. You can also go to the search bar here and type in maybe ORV. I'm looking for something about ORVs, and it's going to go through all these frequently asked questions and bring up anything related to ORVs. Also, just this general search button. You're going to see that on the homepage as well as here. Here you could type in maybe perennial, looking at something about perennial streams. Is there anything there? Oh, it might talk about a couple examples. So just a really cool search feature. Going back to the home button, one thing that I've found really useful, especially as thinking from the standpoint of a wild and scenic river manager, one of the things you're probably going to want to do is first become familiar with your own river or rivers that you're working on or with. And I like to come all the way down to the very bottom of the page. And you've got this bar across the bottom here. You've got national awards, the numbers, nationwide rivers inventory, all great info. But this documents page, I've found really useful because here you can come and look up certain types of documents. So for example, if I'm looking for a comprehensive river management plan from The Forest Service, I can apply those and I can see what are some comprehensive river management plans from the Forest Service. Maybe I'm working on writing one, and I'd love to see an example of what someone else has done. This is a really great way to come find other CRMPs. Here you can see they're all listed by publication date. So you can see what are some of the more recent ones on here. Again, you can also come here and look for like I'm working on a study report and I am with the National Park Service. I can come here and I can see some other study reports and check those out. So I've found this way of searching rivers.gov really, really useful, especially if I'm looking for certain types of reports. Here you can also find those technical papers like we mentioned before. I'm just going to clear that, technical papers. You can apply and see, here we've got addressing visitor use management, CRMPs. Again, they're all listed by publication date. So you can see some of the new stuff that's been coming out from the Interagency Wild and Scenic Rivers Coordinating Council. Or maybe you're just searching for anything from a certain state. And I'm looking in Arizona, that's where I went to college. You can come and see, all right, cool. These are some of the different things that have been tagged as related to Arizona here in all of these documents. So tons of documents available here. I encourage you to go check out rivers.gov and kind of play around with some of the different search tools because there's a lot of great information there. All right, I'm coming now and I'm going to talk about the RMS River Training Center. So if you just go to river-management.org, like I've got here, this will bring you to the RMS homepage. What's really nice is here on our homepage, if you just scroll down, we've got these fun little 6 circles, and this top right one is Wild and Scenic Rivers. Really easy way to go check out a lot of different resources we have around wild and scenic rivers. Scrolling down, you'll see we've got these 5 navy blue bars here that give a little bit more information. You can click on them. You can see some technical information, again, referencing you back to some of those white papers from rivers.gov. Any online resources. We also offer in-person training, as was mentioned in the beginning. You can see a sample agenda. You can check out those 5 bars, but also coming down, we also have a partnership Wild and Scenic Rivers Toolkit. Let's not forget about those partnership Wild and Scenic Rivers. I know there's not nearly as many in our system, but here's a really extensive toolkit for anyone who's looking to learn more about how to explore becoming a partnership wild and scenic river, going through the study process or the designation process. Coming back to our Wild and Scenic River Toolkit, Wild and Scenic River resource page, we also have a whole bunch of things down under Wild and Scenic River happenings. You can check out any videos that have come out. We've got news articles, some different training announcements. So more resources here. However, one I also want to highlight is if we go all the way back to the top, you can go to training and events on our kind of our main menu bar on the RMS website. Our calendar lists all upcoming events. We also have the River Training Center here, which shows you some upcoming events here. For example, we've got our final Wild and Scenic River webinar in our training series coming up in a week from today. Coming back to the top, I would also like to invite you to check out our River Training channel. This is going to bring you to our YouTube page. There's over 230 videos on the RMS YouTube channel. However, if you're specifically looking for wild and scenic resources, you can come to our playlists here. And we have a whole playlist dedicated to wild and scenic Rivers. So if you're kind of looking through, these are some of our different topics. Wild and Scenic Rivers here. This playlist has over 40 videos alone, 46 videos related to wild and scenic rivers. Great place to come and look if you're looking for some specific topics. A lot of the presentations are anywhere from half an hour to an hour and a half, and you can check them out on your own pace or go through them as needed. So I encourage you to follow, and you will be notified whenever there's new videos posted on the RMS channel. All right. I know I'm zooming through some things here, but next up, I want to talk just a little bit about National Wilderness Skills Institute and some of the previous recordings that we have. So the National Wilderness Skills Institute page, you go to wildernessskillsinstitute.org/NWSI. And that's going to bring you to this page here. Right now, of course, we're talking about today's event and tomorrow's event, but you can also click and see previously recorded sessions from 2021, 2022, and 2023. If for some reason you overlook the link there and you keep scrolling down, if you go under the 2023 bar, you'll also see a link to view the previously recorded sessions. Same under the 2022 and same under the 2021. They're going to lead you all to the same place, where it has all of our recordings and lists them out. We've got combined. If you keep scrolling down, you'll get to our Wild and Scenic Rivers track. It lists out a bunch of the different presentations that we've had in the past here. If you click on this title, it'll actually take you to a spot where you got a link to the YouTube videos. You've got a little description and lots of really good information and presentations have been recorded here. In particular, one of my favorites is this History of the Wild and Scenic Rivers Act. It's all through photos by Tim Palmer, and it's about 30 minutes or less. So it's a really great, fast-paced introduction to the Wild and Scenic Rivers Act that's helpful, whether you're working in the office, working on documents related to wild and scenic rivers, or you're out in the field talking to people about wild and scenic rivers. So really encourage you to check out all of these videos. And we are going to have more videos to post after this week. So you can always come back and find the 2024 recordings as well there. And then lastly, I just wanted to point out that there's a whole lot of other resources out there. Again, this is just like our quick roundup of wild and scenic river resources. But I'd also like to highlight that there's different agency groups and advocacy groups as well. And also, if you know of any groups, I encourage you to share of those in the chat. In particular, the Forest Service, I know, has Team Rapids, where they meet once a month and go through some cool presentations and information related to wild and scenic rivers. And it's not just for Forest Service folks. That is open to others. So if you're interested in joining that, you can always shoot me an email or a message, and I can help direct you to the right people to be added to that. I know that the Bureau of Land Management, if you work with them, they do a monthly rivers meeting to talk about river-related things. It might also be a place where they might talk about some wild and scenic related content, but those are kind of like agency support groups. And then we also have a couple advocacy groups who put on great events, presentations, and help pool resources around wild and scenic rivers. In particular, we've got the Wild and Scenic Rivers Coalition, and every year they do a Wild and Scenic Rivers Virtual Hill Week, which is great. And they do a lot of, they get a lot of great speakers together and make it accessible and open to anyone who's interested in joining and learning more about wild and scenic river advocacy. And then also River Network has a lot of great things out there, as well as funding opportunities for more nonprofits and partner groups. So again, I just want to kind of recap. These are just the 4 things I was going through today: rivers.gov, or the Interagency Wild and Scenic Rivers Coordinating Council, the RMS River Training Center, some previous NWSI or National Wilderness Skills Institute sessions, and then agency and advocacy groups, and reaching out and seeing if you can get involved or join some of their sessions. So I know we only have like a few more minutes, so I just want to say thank you and have you jot down my email there. You're welcome to reach out if you're ever looking for more resources or certain types of information. I can try to help guide you to the right spot.